into the hands of Kowak, who's able to grab and hold. It's still 7-0 on the scoreboard, by the way, as we kick off here for the second game. As East Grand is coming the other way, here's Abdi Malik Abdi trying to play through, looking for the run of Chupka, and that will run all the way through to Bitter, who gathers up as it is now a 0-0 game here at East Grand Forks. Over to the far touchline. Hellwig checking back, able to skip away from a challenge, and he'll just recycle it all the way back to Colton Michalacek. Bemidji last year won by 3-0 on October 1st against East Grand, or what was senior night for the Lumberjacks that night. They've won by a 3-0 scoreline the last 2 years during the regular season as Mitchell tries to poke one through for the run of Ben Hess into the 18. And it's gathered up inside the 18 by Kowak. I'm informed that it's Chupka, by the way, for Cole Chupka up front. Much appreciated for that. As ball's played to the near side of the field, Abdi stabbing it into the center. Chase Mock tries to step to it, but Abdi Malik Abdi able to reach it. He's got Chupka running ahead of him, and it does slip past Michalacek. Chupka now into the 18 on a tight angle. He'll shoot it on and right into the hands of J.D. Bitter, who makes a pretty simple stop for his first of the evening as Michalacek just had been beaten there on that ball that had been played through looking for Chupka, and then he had to take it wide there in the end as he tried to go toward goal. As Chase Mock picks up in the center circle, goes back to Ben Hess, and Bemidji will recycle it out wide. Silas Hess popping up on the right, looking to play through. He's got both Mock and Hellwig running down the right. Mock got there, got barged off of it for a moment, but now Hellwig picks up, stabs into the 18, and it's recovered in the end by Emery and played out to the far touchline, and that will run all the way out into touch for a throw-in. So we're into the third minute in this goalless game. Philippi will get forward for this throw. Looking down the line, Hellwig nodding it into the center. Nobody really home, and it's fired clear upfield. Bemidji has won 9 straight against East Grand Forks overall. The last loss came back in 2013 by 1-0. These teams have met in the section playoffs the last couple of years as well, although not last season as Silas Hess tries to poke through. 6 straight shutouts as well for Bemidji in this series as they've outscored East Grand 29-0 over that stretch. The last goal allowed came back in 2015 at Chet Anderson Stadium on a night that was memorable in the fact that Dylan Kovac, the then center back for Bemidji, scored a wonder goal from 50 yards out at the Chet that lofted all the way in as part of that 3-1 win. As there's a little bit of confusion right now. They're asking for the clock to be stopped as well here as we have just crossed the 3-minute mark here in the game, as they had to go through a couple of balls that appear to be flat on the far side of the field. And they're checking another one now. And it looks like this one is good to go, so the game is almost ready to be good to go. And now referee is indeed whistling them to play. As the throw comes in toward the 18 from Hellwig, is nodded away out of it. Only as far as Ben Hess, now Silas Hess, corner of the 18, tries to slip one through for a runner, but nobody home there as it runs all the way out for a goal kick. As he appeared to have seen somebody running through, but there was nobody who was making that run. So a goal kick now for the Green Wave and a chance for them to relieve their lines early. They've had the only shot here in the opening 4 minutes as Bemidji has probed around the 18 here, but only as far as that, as East Grand has sat in pretty deep defensively thus far. Goal kick played into the center of the field. Ben Hess nods it wide. Sauer back in the lineup tonight after coming off the bench against Sartell on Saturday. Tries to hit a ball through the center that deflects, but does reach Silas Hess as he tracks back to it. Philippi now looking long upfield for Ethan Mock as he's barged off of it by Riopel and out for a throw-in. As Mock had to track back a little bit on what was a zipped ball his way toward the forward line. Throw goes long down the line by Hellwig. Finds Ben Hess at the end line, gets a cross away, and it's deflected out for a throw in the far corner. Emery able to recover and get back as Hess and crept into a little bit of space and tried to get his cross away. Hellwig will throw back to the corner of the 18. Hess now drives one into the middle, and it's fired clear. A whole crowd of green jerseys back inside the 18, and now they'll try to counter. Abdi Malik Abdi, he'll play it out wide, has an overlapping runner coming on and playing it forward. That's Kofstad, but into the center of the field. It's chested down by Ben Hess, and he'll fire it forward. Emery's there covering, and he's able to nod it ahead into the center of the field as the Green Wave once again try to counter. A little bit of a misplay now played forward, right to the feet of Chase Mock, and he'll switch it in the center for Ben Hess. Surveying his options, he'll go down to the right for Hellwig. Hellwig queuing up against Riopel. He'll run at him. He'll run past it to the end line. Hellwig gets his cross away, nodded on, and deflected out of the 18 or toward the edge of it. Dickinson gets there, but then his touch was not a good enough one to reach Chase Mock, who then does recover and win it. Now Dickinson down the near side. Cuts it back, finding Silas Hess at the corner of the 18. Back to the top of the 18. It's Ben Hess. Slips it through. Mitchell is onside. 1-0. And the flag stays down as Logan Mitchell tucks it in with a cool finish on a great cutback by Ben Hess. 1-0 in the 6th minute. And a very, very good cutback by Ben Hess, and Logan Mitchell smoothly tucks it home to the bottom corner. 5th goal of the season for Mitchell, only the 2nd assist this year for Ben Hess, would you believe it? But that was a perfect setup as Bemidji shifted the play one way, then the other, and Mitchell was there to fire it in. And it's an early goal for Bemidji on the road tonight. So before we kick off, the referee is talking right now to Jake Jensen about the balls, and there still seems to be some trouble, it appears, with how much air is in the balls that they have here that are the game day balls. Referee has checked one. Apparently, the one that is now out on the field is good to go. But right now, there seems to be need of an air pump to try to add a little bit more. Back underway, though. 1-0 Bemidji in front. So we get back to the action, into the center of the field. Abdi Najib Abdi. Now it's Dickinson playing it back to the center. Clock is not running at the moment as the ball's played forward by Mitchell, poked away, and then taken on by Abdi down the near side of the field. Dickinson able to cut him off, works backward, gets tripped up, then gets back up, and he won a free kick in the end after all of that. Chase Mock now, into the center of the field. Silas Hess, 40 yards from goal, will look up, clipping one over the top. Mitchell tried to latch onto it. It's knotted back into the center and then cleared as Ellis knotted it down, and he was able to find Emery, who was covering there in the center. Ben Hess, little flick on by Dickinson using the heel. Mitchell now tracking to it on the near flank. Gives back for Ben Hess. Oh, nice change of direction by Hess. Now he runs toward goal. Cuts one back for Ethan Mock at the corner of the 18. Mitchell now runs into a challenge and lost it. Mock able to win it back. Hurdles the tackle and is able to win a free kick as there was no advantage. And Bemidji will have a free kick right at the corner of the 18. Mock is setting it up to take it quickly, but he's going to wait for the moment because Abdi Najib Abdi is standing right in front of him. 15 goals this year for Ethan Mock, Bemidji's leading goal scorer. Just 2 away from his total of 17 that he had a year ago. And he's had 3 games this year of at least 3 goals or better. As Mock clips in this free kick to the back post, chested down, still loose, and there was a hand in there against Aiden Hellwig as he tried to bring that down. And it'll be a free kick coming out for the Green Wave. Or so it appears. It actually, well, the whistle had gone. There's no free kick, though. It's just been rolled back into play by Callock. In the center of the field, Ben Hess tries to poke it away. Take it back and down the near side, Abdi. Abdi Najib Abdi into the middle of the field. Dickinson able to step into the tackle, wins it back, and cuts a nice ball back for Ethan Mock, who was just ahead of him. Down the near touchline, Mock into the center now for Ben Hess. 45 yards from goal, back to goal with a defender on him. He switches now for Silas Hess in the center of the field, and he rakes one wide, but it's too much for Hellwig, and it's out for a throw-in. A solid start for the Lumberjacks thus far, controlling the play, and they've got the opening goal and their opening chance of the game with Logan Mitchell crafting one into the bottom corner off a good cutback by Ben Hess in the 6th minute. Still hard to believe it's only 2 assists this year for Ben Hess, but he's been more of a goal scorer this season, funny enough, and he has sat deep enough in terms of their build-up of play that he's not had as much in the way of assists this year. Silas Hess hits a great ball to Dickinson, near flank, hits cross, headed away. Ben Hess outside the 18, leaves it for Chase Mock, and he just flashes one wide of the near post as he took it on the bounce. First time, it was not too far away from Callock's right-hand post. Goal kick as the work continues on the game balls at midfield here. Trying to get them a little bit more pumped up to be useful for play. So goal kick coming up now for Emery as he fires one into the middle of the field. Brought down a little awkwardly by Ismail, and that went off of his arm, and it's a free kick. Silas Hess takes quickly. Chase Mock now, 30 yards from goal. Mock tries to cut one back for Dickinson through the middle, but he ends up slicing it down the middle right to Callock, who will throw one back into play. Abdi Malik Abdi misclears one as he was trying to play it on, firing it towards somebody. Dickinson ahead to Ethan Mock, has it poked away. Mock reaching back for it now Back to the near flank, it's Abdi once again. And he'll just fire one long for Abdi to Jeeb Abdi, but there's Sauer to chest it down and find Dickinson on the near touchline. But he ends up running into a challenge, and it's out for a throw-in. It's been a little bit tight in terms of possession in the middle of the field, but Bemidji has been able to play through the lines pretty well thus far, although the ball running, as you'd imagine, very fast on not just the turf, but slick turf tonight as well with the rain today. Philippi down the far wing, able to find Hellwig. Hellwig tries to get past his man, touched out of play off of the Bemidji winger, and it'll be a throw-in on the outside. Throw will go backward to Emery, center of that three-man defense, and he fires one into the center, right to Dickinson. Ben Hess trying to reach to it, and that's fired clear. Sauer will chase this one down. He's got positioning on Abdi. Let's see what he wants to do with it here as he turns into Abdi and goes past him in the end. Sauer now will look up. He'll switch it back to the center for Michalacek, who lets it run for a covering Silas Hess. Hess with some options will go out to the right for Philippi as Eastgran starts to tuck in a little bit. Mitchell now, the goal scorer, just across midfield, down the far wing for Philippi. And I'll come backward for Silas Hess, who drops deep for the moment and now fires one forward to Ethan Mock. A little heavy touch for a moment, brings it down well, is able to turn away from a challenge, and now he'll race at defenders. Fires one to Ben Hess, who squares for Chase Mock. Through the middle looking for his twin brother, but it's clear. Sauer now in the near wing, coming forward 35 yards from goal. Back for Mock, Chase. Forward now for Silas Hess. Hess switches away from one tackle and then from a second. On the bounce, he'll try one from distance, and it deflects through, and Cadillac is able to dive on it and cover on a fairly simple one in the end, as that may have gone off of Mitchell as Hess was trying to shoot it through as he had a crack from distance. Booming punt played out. Kofstad trying to reach it. Philippi able to nod it up and over and away from him, but out for a throw-in the process as A.J. Kofstad was trying to latch on to that long punt from Cadillac out of the back. Throw will be about 45 yards from goal on the far side. It will go into the center of the field. Benjamin pinching up, lofting one over everybody into the 18, and Bitter will come and gather it up on one bounce. 29 minutes to play, opening half as we head into the 12th minute. Bemidji leading by a goal to nil thanks to Logan Mitchell in the 6th minute. Getting Bemidji off the mark on a setup by Ben Hess, as Mitchell was then able to tuck it into the corner with a really solid finish. Just side-footing it home, curling it around the oncoming Cadillac as Mitchell had been played through. A very good striker's finish from Mitchell as ball's played out in the touch for a throw, and he's halfway to his 10-goal mark of last season. 5 goals, 5 assists this year for Logan Mitchell. He's done a terrific job of working with Ethan Mock up front as well as with the midfielders coming around him as well. It's part of this possession style that Bemidji likes to play, and he's been more than happy to set guys up this year when chances have been there, Mitchell, as Sauer gets impeded upon by the elbow of Abdi and wins a foul on a free kick just outside the 18. Michalacek will take quickly, spraying it out to the right for Philippi as Bemidji looks to get moving forward. Again, a lot of jerseys in green sitting deep here from East Grand Forks. Philippi. So the midfield line to Mitchell, and he'll tuck it back to Ben Hess. Silas Hess was making a run there, but wasn't picked out. Chase Mock had it roll off the bottom of his foot as he turns, but now is able to regather, and he'll go to the center, but away from Silas Hess with his ball. Back on it now, Ismail. Mock able to recover, though, place it to Ben Hess, and now forward Silas Hess. Hellwig making a run. Hess has spotted him. Hellwig cutting in toward the 18. Good sliding challenge gets there. It comes down to Ethan Mock, and Cadillac just able to gather it between the legs. Linesman had his flag up. Referee played advantage on what looked like he had judged as a foul there on the sliding challenge on Hellwig. Referee played it on, though, because Ethan Mock was barreling into the top of the 18, but his low effort was held in the end by Cadillac as it was right on goal. Hellwig now clips the ball for Mock at the top of the 18. He'll chest it down, play it back. Ben Hess, Silas Hess, 25 yards out. On the flank now, it's Hellwig into the 18. Low delivery, Ben Hess pokes it wide for a goal kick.
Entering the for the green wave is
near post ball, near post run. No near post finish though, as Ben Hess reached it with the left foot, but ended up poking it wide out of play. On a great delivery by Hellwig, who has been so difficult to contain on the right-hand side this season. But then Ben Hess could not finish it off. Nate Afshari has come on for the green wave. And they've also made another change here on the near side of the field. That is Yahya Ismail, who has come in now. Here's Ellis. Turns, plays down the line. That'll run to Chase Mock. He'll try to come forward now 40 yards from goal. Mitchell skews one on for Silas Hess, who's in some space. And he'll play it down the right side for Hellwig, but again it runs too far as Hess led him too much on that ball through. Some good covering, defending as well, kept Hess from hitting Hellwig in stride. Had to lead him a little bit more as well. And it'll be a goal kick now coming out. 26 minutes to play, opening half, still 1-0 Bemidji, courtesy of Logan Mitchell in the 6th minute. As the ball's fired out of the back, miscontrolled in the center of the field, and that will allow Hess to get there as that came off the foot of Benjamin. Hess into the center, Mitchell tracking back, now turning, facing goal. Mitchell will have a go, and it's over the bar as he couldn't get it down. He had some room to pivot and turn there, but his effort was a leaning effort heading over the bar as he was just kind of standing, striking it, and not able to dip it down and on target. Goal kick bounds through the middle of the field right to the feet of Ben Hess. He'll slip it forward to Mitchell. He'll turn. Silas Hess making a run ahead of him, and now he'll go outside to Hellwig and just consolidate possession. Philippi wanted Sauer, who was making a little bit of a run, but that was a bit of a ambitious ball if he had gone there. Instead, Mikhalchek plays forward to Silas Hess, whose ball to Ethan Mock is cut out. Mitchell back to Ben Hess, tries to play through a man, and has it ping back to him off the face of that challenging defender in the middle of the field. Mock down the right, played on by Mitchell. Hellwig with a good cross into the 18. Bounces back to Dickinson, who goes flying in and tumbling over. Chase Mock now picks up. Ben Hess, 25 yards out, slips. Silas Hess in a crowd, into the net! 2-0! Well, he found a sliver of space, and Silas Hess curled it up and over Callock and found the top of the net with a beauty. His 11th of the season, and Ben Hess already with more assists today than he's had all season. 2 tonight, after just 1 coming in. 2-0 in the 16th minute. May have taken a deflection on the way up and over Callock, but either way, that was exquisite from Silas Hess as he just bent it up and over, and Ben Hess was once again the guy who provided the cutback ball as that came the way of Silas Hess to be able to finish, who has been more of a provider than a goal scorer this season. But once again showing he's got that touch and he's got that ability, and the coach is certainly hoping that he will have even more of that come section playoff time in a similar vein to last year, as now Hess lobs one over the top for Ethan Mock to chase. Mock is in. He's beaten his challenge, and he's missed it wide on the left foot, as it was a good recovery by Emery to get back to Mock's right and force him onto his left foot, and he ended up dragging it well wide in the end. Hess has 50 assists now in his career for the Lumberjacks. He's in a category of his own there. Nobody has ever reached that mark, as he is the all-time assist leader. But he is also 1 assist this season away from tying the single-season mark of Travis Long, Volkner, and Brandon Wright, who have each had 16 in 1 season previously. Back it goes to Philippi on the far touchline. On the ground now, Mitchell down the right. He's got Hellwig, and then he misses out on him as he played it too long and out for a throw-in. But Bemidji 2-0 up, and quite comfortably 2-0 up on this chilly night here at East Grand Forks, as Silas Hess picks one off in the center of the field. For Mock, for Hess. Away from one challenge, and then he runs into a second as Riopel was able to get there. Hellwig now picking up the pieces. Into the middle for Chase Mock. Pokes it forward, but beyond Ethan Mock, who had his back to goal and wasn't able to turn with the touch to be able to get through the crowd, and it runs through to Callock as he booms a punt into the middle of the field that bounds over his intended target, Afshari, and right there is Chase Philippi. Ahead to Mitchell, who opened the scoring back in the 6th minute. Back it on, it goes now to Philippi. Mikhalchek splits defenders for Ben Hess, who squares for Chase Mock, whose touch was a bit of a bounder, so he has to go and recollect. Sauer now down the left as East Grand is just putting numbers very deep. 7 behind the ball at the moment. Ethan Mock clipping one to the far side. Ben Hess able to chest down. 30 yards from goal. Turns. Finds Hellwig. Hellwig into the 18. Aiden Hellwig misses the far post by a whisker. And it's a goal kick, as once again Ben Hess was able to play a man on, this time down the right for Hellwig. And it was a good dragged effort by Hellwig across goal, but he could not slip it into the far corner. But Bemidji going through the gears, working the flank, and then Ben Hess just continues to quarterback things out of the middle and find runners coming around. Back into the middle of the field, Green Wave with a little spell of possession here as they try to come down the near side. Ismail will look up. He'll play it through the middle and ends up getting picked off by Ben Hess. Quickly ahead to Ethan Mock. Mock, the furthest player forward, 45 yards from goal, will go square now to Silas Hess, who's got Hellwig making a run again down the right. Hellwig tries to reach it. Riopel does first and touches it out for a throw-in. Hellwig will look up now and wait for numbers to arrive inside the 18. He's got a few there, but everyone's pretty well guarded and crowded. Into the 18, Mitchell has it poked off of him. Now Silas Hess flicks it over his head. Mock is there, nods it forward. It's nodded backward. Hess trying to pick up the pieces, and it's cleared backward and out for an East Grand throw, and as that took a touch off of Silas Hess in the process. Throw into the middle of the field. Hess flicks it on. It's skimmed backward, cleared backward by Riopel and out for a throw-in. Hellwig will once again take care getting it back into play as he came very close there just a few moments ago. Now goes to the center. Ben Hess trying to turn through two defenders, loses out on the challenge, but as he so often does, is able to snap in and win it back. Down the line, Mitchell turns it out of play for a throw. 20th minute on the American Family Miller and Associates scoreboard. Bemidji 2-0 up on the road at East Grand Forks with Logan Mitchell in the 6th minute and Silas Hess in the 16th minute, putting Bemidji in front. And now the Lumberjacks will make their first changes of the night as they will bring 5 players on. They've got Silas Bitter coming on for Michael Dickinson. Noah Ritchie is in. Noah Johnson is in. Ryan Rodio and Nick Kibbe. As in addition to Dickinson, Philippi, Aiden Hellwig, Logan Mitchell, and Chase Mock will all make way for the Lumberjacks. So with the new alignment, Bitter will go down the left. Ritchie will go up front next to Mock. And then it'll be Noah Johnson with the Hess twins in the center of the field. Rodio is going to run on the right-hand side of the defense, and Kibbe will be on the right-hand side of the midfield. Rodio's been a little bit of everywhere this year. He was most recently a target forward for a little bit against Sartell on Saturday, playing up front there in the two-man forward system that the Lumberjacks have. And we've seen him in the midfield. We've seen him on the back line as well. He can play in the center. He can play on the outside. Of course, we talked about Silas Bitter and his positional flexibility this season as well. Ben Hess, square for Silas Hess, 45 yards from goal. Johnson just ahead of him. Hess instead picks out Ritchie, who's checked back 30 yards from goal. And he'll work it backward to Ben Hess as Bemidji just keeps possession and works it backward. Rodio now. Into the middle, Johnson dropping deep, able to get a touch on. And he'll play it back for Ben Hess, who will switch it to the near side for Sauer. Defender converging as Sauer has to quickly play it away. Bitter will try to track it down. But letting it run and then playing it out off Bitter for a throw-in was Ellis, as I think he was safely going to be able to let that run out. Instead, was able to get the touch off the oncoming Lumberjack midfielder. Ben Hess flicks it over a man in the middle of the field, tries to get around him and does. Pokes it on to Johnson, who then poked it past one challenge but not past Ellis, who was able to snap in at it. Silas Hess lets it run. Rodio under a leaping Hess finds Ben Hess. Runners queuing up. Hess over the top for the run of Ethan Mock, and the ball bounced just a little too far ahead of him, and then Mock fouls Cowlock as he was trying to reach it. And the referee has stopped play as Mock's trailing leg got in there as he was trying to reach what was then a loose ball, and Mock has been booked for his trouble as he was just a step late getting there. And so Ethan Mock will go into the book here in the 22nd minute. After his eagerness to reach that ball ended up costing him as he just let that leg out. That ball bounced a little bit beyond him on a pretty good clip ball by Ben Hess. Silas Hess is having a word with the official, maybe that was more unfortunate than anything rather than malicious, but the referee, well, he's not going to change his mind at this point. It's in the book, and that's that. As Mock will come off, and so Mitchell will come back on up front. It'll be a free kick for the Green Wave out of their area. 2-0 Bemidji leading here. Mitchell and Silas Hess as we're into the 22nd minute. Those two have provided the goals as we are fully under the lights now here at East Grand Forks. And the good news, it appears that the mist is no longer in play outside. So that is quite nice. It has misted all over the north here today after heavy rain earlier today. As back underway, the free kick is won immediately by Ben Hess in the middle of the field. Here's Sauer, slips forward for Mitchell, and now back for Sauer. And he'll go to the center, finding Johnson 40 yards out. Nice turn, finds Silas Hess in some space. Hess looking up. He's thinking about it, and he ends up blazing it over, as that was way over the bar for a goal kick, as he just did not drive down through it.
I think you got a field goal.
Tried to hit that standing shot that so many of these Lumberjack players are inclined to do, that standing plant leg and then not really the leaping, driving shot, trying to get that down and on target, as Hess could not bring that down. Ben Hess able to win back in the middle of the field after Silas Bitter clipped a pass. Silas Hess now, good ball on the ground for Richie. Tried to hold it up and play it on for the run of Johnson or the run of Mitchell and could find neither. Ben Hess back on it though. 40 yards from goal, down the near side, Silas Bitter, and into the center, Johnson. Turns away from a couple challenges, recycles for Silas Hess, and Hess will go to the right. Raudio trying to reach out to it, and he'll get there. 40 yards from goal, down the line, ball trickles out as Raudio couldn't keep it in, trying to find Kibbe down the line. And actually, the flag is going up. It's offside against Nick Kibbe, who had ended up pinching forward. And a free kick. We'll bring it back out here for the Green Wave, who haven't really been able to muster much since the opening 5 minutes in terms of troubling J.D. Bitter. Just that one misplay by Michalacek early was all they could really get going, as they'll fire this free kick forward in the middle of the field. Miscontrolled right to Johnson, who turns into Hasmi Ishmael. And he'll play it on now and find some support. That's Yaya Ismail. So he'll go back to the center. Finds his man there, that's Benjamin. And he'll go back to Emery. He'll go out wide. Good little spell of possession here from the Green Wave as they try to come forward. Poke down the line, but right into the chest of Kibbe, who finds Silas Hess, who will pivot backward and ends up running it out of play for a throw under no real duress there. And he just juggles it up to the defender, who comes to gather it up. Throw into the center, poked away, and now on to Mitchell. He's got Silas Hess making a great run to his right, and he's spotted him. Hess making up the ground. Will get there. Now stops up, now goes, gets clipped, and it's a foul and a free kick just to the right of the 18 as Hess baited Afshari into that challenge, make that Riopel into that challenge. As he let him come, then quickly, with a little burst of acceleration, went past him. The trailing leg from the defender came in, and it was a free kick. And Hess will take the moment to retie his shoe before the Lumberjacks will get back underway here. So he's good to go, and he looks like he's going to take the free kick himself. Richie, Kibbe, Johnson, Ben Hess, they're all in there. Mitchell is now joining as well, as he was there with Silas Hess, maybe talking over who would take that free kick. But it is Silas Hess, a driven ball that deflects. It almost fell for Richie, but it's fired clear. Back to Hess on the right. Makes a little cutback. Tries to bring it back across the top of the 18 himself and ends up losing it and ends up using the elbow. And it's a foul and free kick as he was trying to hold off his man. So the Green Wave will once again get a chance to relieve the lines here in the 25th minute. 15 minutes to play in the opening half. And the two early goals, Mitchell in the 6th minute and then Silas Hess in the 16th. Holding things up here for Bemidji. Shots thus far, 10 for the Lumberjacks. Only 4 on target, although they fizzed a couple wide on efforts across goal here in this first half, and then only 1 shot thus far from East Grand Forks. As it's played to the near side, Silas Bitter able to get away from a challenge, turns and plays backward. Ben Hess has to slide in to try to reach it, and Abdi Malik Abdi got there, but then played it right into Silas Hess. Forward now to Mitchell. 35 yards from goal. Mitchell, he's got runners on either side of him, tries to play Johnson, and he got tumbled over and wins a free kick as well in the process. This is about 25 to 30 yards from goal. It's 30 yards out just right of center, and Silas Hess is going to clip it in. Ben Hess tries to reach it, and it runs to Kallock, who's able to get there. As that time, the Hess twins not quite on the mark, and this time playing through the middle, rather than on Saturday when it was from the flank that Silas Hess played that in for Ben Hess. But that ball was just a little wayward. They were ready, and they had a great ball played on there, or they had the idea right, but the ball itself was not very good. Mitchell away from a challenge. Pokes down the left side, trying to find Bitter, but it's cut out and cleared away upfield. Abdi checking back, looking for support, fires the ball to the outside. Raudio is on it, but he can't play it. He's able to recover, though, and he's able to step in front of Afshari and then play back to Michalacek. Good recovery made by Raudio after the misplay. Kibbe into the center, into kind of a no-man's land between Mitchell and Johnson, and it's fired upfield, and Abdi's making a good run into the 18. Abdi Malik Abdi hammers one well wide for a goal kick as he tried to take it first time with Sauer recovering, and that forced the top scorer for East Grand Forks to go for the spectacular, and he was not able to get a good hold of it. But that's the challenge. When you're a team that's playing on the counter and hasn't had a lot of chances, you feel compelled to take an early effort first time, much like that one was. And it ended up being well off the mark in the end, as the Green Wave have made a couple of changes here. It's just under 13 minutes to play in the half. Still 2-0 Bemidji. Noah Johnson tried to bring it down. It's knotted backward, and then slipping as he was trying to play it was Alshalon. Mitchell picks it up now, squares into the center for Silas Hess, and he'll go back to Ben Hess. Little triangle there. Now Hess will come forward, firing one down the near side, looking for Silas Bitter. Looks like it might be a touch too far. Bitter indeed cannot get there as he tried to backheel it into play. That's what he had to resort to in the end with how far that had gone, and it's a goal kick as that ball ran just a little too fast on this slick turf surface. That's a double whammy in terms of speed of the ball you play through, as Richie is able to win back with help from Johnson. The two Noahs teaming up there. Mitchell down the right, Kivy. Silas Hess 30 yards out. Now Mitchell, nice ball wide, Kivy queuing up for a cross. Here it comes. It's a good one. Johnson reaches it, cleared off the line. As Emery got back around and was able to get there, as Johnson prodded it toward the end line. Cowlock was beaten, but Emery was not, as he was able to clear it away.
Beautiful.
It was a good touch by Noah Johnson, just not enough on it. Kivy now with a turning effort, and that bounces wide for a goal kick off the left foot just outside the 18. That close, though. Great delivery by Kivy on the setup. And Johnson was attacking and poking it on, but he could not poke it through. Abdi now runs into Sauer again, and it's fired away upfield, and is able to step in. It was Oberg. East Grand Forks back to the near side of the field. Ismail will turn, tries to play it on the 8th grader, Yahya Ismail, as it's poked out for a throw-in, and that'll go the Green Wave's way. Into the center of the field. Throw comes. Turn made by Benjamin as he tries to get away from Johnson. Misplays his ball forward, though, and Michalachek is there to step on it, and he'll fire it to the outside, but away from Kibbe for a throw-in. And the Green Wave will make 3 changes now as Abdi Najib. Abdi is back in, Kopstad is back on, and so too Hamzi Ismail, as they will all come on with just over 10 minutes to play. 30th minute, 2-0 Bemidji leading. Coming up at Lumberjack Live halftime, we will have stats and highlights for you in the eyeballing of Bemidji halftime, and we will have our final senior spotlight of the year. 11 seniors this year in the class of 2020 for Bemidji, and we have alphabetically reached our final one as Blaine Sauer will be coming up for our senior spotlight at halftime. We'll get to talk to the top defender for the Lumberjacks again back in the starting lineup today as Raudio tries to head one away and headed it right into Chupka. He'll take it down to the end line on the far side, tries to play it through Raudio, who's able to poke it away but only out for a corner. As Raudio had the chance to clear it away there, but then went for the header and headed it right into the on-running Chupka, and the first corner of the game has gone to East Grand Forks. Trying to get a goal back here with 10 minutes to play before the half, and trying to make the most of this set piece. Bemidji cues up defensively here. Green Wave have a lot of numbers forward, 6 in the penalty area to aim for. As this ball is swung in toward the backside, Abdi reaches it but is stumbling. It's fired clear as that could have gone over the end line. Johnson decided to play it away, and it was fired back in by East Grand, but they cleared again. Back outside the 18, fired toward the top of the 18, but Ben Hess is there, and he'll clear it out. Richie tries to leave it, got it lost in his foot, and then he plays it behind Kibbe out for a throw-in. 3 Lumberjack changes are up when there's an opportunity, but Johnson maybe didn't exactly know where he was there along the end line because he could have just let that run on Abdi's header, which had been misplayed there, and it would have just run out for a goal kick had he known where he was, as Silas Bitter comes in on the back of Abdi Najib Abdi, and it's a foul and free kick on East Grand's side of midfield. As the Green Wave will pump one forward here, looking for Abdi up front, and it's skimmed backward by Michalachek, and J.D. Bitter will bring it down with the knee, gather it up, and then roll it back into play for Raudio, who lets it run, now has to step to it and plays it on to Ben Hess. Forward now for Mitchell. He's got runners, including Silas Hess on a great clip ball. Hess trying to beat the defense. Silas Hess! Oh, what a strike! 3-0, bottom corner, Silas Hess pummels one and just slips it inside the post. And Logan Mitchell set him up with that ball over the top. And then it was a rocket, an unstoppable rocket from Silas Hess. 3-0 and his second of the night. 32nd minute with his second of the evening. And the two who were part of that goal, Hess and Mitchell, are both off as they will come off. Hellwig back on. And also Chase Mock checking back in as well. What a strike. Terrific low strike from Silas Hess, who had beaten the back line and then went to goal himself. As the ball's played over the top for Abdi, and J.D. Bitter is able to gather it, and he'll just roll it right back into Philippi. Mitchell with a terrific ball to set that up, and then Hess beat the back line. He was going down the right. The angle looked against him, but the finish was classic Silas Hess. And a terrific one to the bottom corner away from Cowlock, and he put it right inside that post because it caught a little spot where there's an extra bar that goes to the wheel that's on the goal. As the ball's been played through for Abdi, he's clipped it past Bitter, but he's missed it wide for a goal kick as he had beaten Philippi as well as Michalacek down the right, but the angle was tough and he ended up clipping it wide of Bitter's net. And it's a let-off there for the Lumberjacks as Abdi had gotten himself into very good space there, trying to get a goal back. 3-0 though with just over 7 minutes to play here in the first half. Johnson able to win one back. Finds Ritchie on the right-hand side. Ritchie dropping deep. Now looks up. He'll play a ball over the top. Hellwig's not going to get there. Bitter, though, is coming in and able to step in front with Kofstad, who makes a good turn down the near flank, holds off Bitter, and then pokes it into Bitter, who wins it away. Silas Bitter, 40 yards from goal now. It's Johnson in the center. Fires the ball forward for Ritchie, who can't turn with it, and able to recover behind him was Ellis. Ellis able to come forward, but he runs into Kivy. And Hellwig, who's running down the center now, able to put some pressure on. Silas Bitter wins it back. He'll go into the 18 down the left-hand side. Little step over. Now looks back. Able to recycle it. Finds Johnson behind him. Johnson back on for Bitter. Cycles back on now for Chase Mock down the near side. Mock into the center. Ben Hess in a little bit of space. Gets away from a challenge. Hess will have a try, and it's right into Cowlock down the middle as he makes a pretty comfortable save in the end. As Hess got a good strike on net with it, but couldn't pick out a corner, and it wasn't the hardest effort either, but he was just trying to get that one on target. And Cowlock was able to make a pretty simple hold. Abdi now up front, who's been the biggest threat here from East Grand in this first half. He'll check it back and find Kofstad over to the far side. That was an ambitious ball, and it's cut out by Kivy. Noah Johnson now looking up. Not a lot to aim for ahead of him. Hellwig showing. Ben Hess making a run. Hess now finds Hellwig, who runs to the defense down the center, runs through the challenge of Emery, but it gets through to Cowlock, who will scoop it up. With 6 minutes to go till the half. Cowlock will roll it back in as Emery will pick up, play forward, and he's able to slip it between the lines. For a moment there, he was able to reach his target, Oberg, but then was taken back by Johnson, but then Hellwig fouled, and it's a free kick for the Green Wave. Logan Mitchell in the 6th minute, and then 2 for Silas Hess in the 16th and 32nd minutes. 2 assists for Ben Hess. Mitchell has also provided an assist as well today in this opening half for Bemidji, as the goals have come quick and have come often in this first half, and they've been spread out as well through the half as Bemidji has really dominated possession, and when they've been able to break through that back line, some good finishing inside the 18 today so far. On the far touchline, little run being made here, and able to get away from Ben Hess there on the run was Oberg, but in to recover and fired out was Raudio, and he got a deflection as well, so it's a Bemidji throw-in. Lumberjacks have eclipsed 50 goals now for the season as a team, and pretty amazing when you consider the 50 goals, but then also the just three that they have conceded through 11-plus games now this season. This, of course, the 12th game this year. One of the top defensive marks in the state, and one they've been pretty proud of. And not a lot in open play this year either. The occasional set piece that they've had to deal with, the occasional mistake as well, certainly against Moorhead, and against Brainerd that was the case. Although against Moorhead there was some controversy in it on a dropped free kick, where Bitter was in a crowd there, but he made a terrific save then Saturday against Sartell. Then there was also the Brainerd mix-up that Bemidji dealt with, but when you consider what this defense has done this season, it's been impressive. They've got work to do here, though, as Michalacek is able to nod one sideways on a lofted ball into the 18 off a free kick from Emery. On the outside, though, Abdi picking it up, firing one back in near post, but it is off the mark wildly as he was going for a shot there, even though he had 2 or 3 to aim for inside the area, and it's a goal kick with under 4 minutes to go. Which J.D. Bitter, right on cue, plays out quickly. He's wearing black tonight as Bitter. He's also got a beanie on this evening, which reflects the cold weather, so too the fact that the Lumberjacks are wearing their long sleeve version of their white road jerseys. As Hellwig skips away from a tackle from Ismail. Finds Johnson down the right, finds Kibbe. Kibbe running toward the 18, takes a little bump, kept going, but that was a good tackle made and a good clearance as well from behind. As Michalczyk nods one forward. Flag had gone up against Abdi, who was offside, but Bemidji is able to play on through it. Johnson tries for a hopeful ball to the near side to Bitter, and Johnson was clipped in the process and wins a free kick, and the official is stopping play here. Is this going to be a talking to or a booking? He looks like he's reaching for his pocket. It's a conversation, and it is a booking as well. And it's for Abdi Malik Abdi, and that was just one time too many that he's been late on a challenge here in this first half. And after the booking of Ethan Mock earlier, now one for East Grand Forks as well, as those late tackles have been coming in. And the referee has said enough is enough with those, as Abdi will come off. And they'll bring Benjamin back on, moving off Shari up front. Free kick is 40 yards out down the right. Ben Hess rolls it on the ground for Johnson. Into the 18, now out of the 18. Kibbe, first time cross, flashes well wide for a goal kick as he had room and time to take a touch there, but instead he went for the first time delivery. Ball played out over the far side of the field. Trying to make up the ground and get there was Abdi Najib Abdi, and Raudio was able to play it out off of him for a throw-in. With under 3 minutes to go in the half, into the center of the field, Ben Hess trying to clip it away from a tackle, and he ends up reaching the leg up too high there on Ismail, and it's a free kick. Right in midfield, and this is where East Grand has been able to ask a few questions as on these free kicks, and they'll do so again. Into the 18, Philippi nods it away right at the top of the penalty area. Johnson to the near side, Bitter, and on for Hellwig in that target spot, in one of the two striker spots. Now he plays one back to the center for Chase Mock. That's a great ball over the top. Hellwig trying to cut in. Defenders were covering though, and they're able to clear. Ben Hess picks up the pieces now. Chase Mock, 25 yards out. Ritchie on the left-hand side of the 18. No Ritchie. Dances, turns, and plays backward to Bitter. Bitter now from distance just sends a low effort in that Kallock is able to scoop up standing. As there wasn't much on that in the end from Silas Bitter. As we're down to about 2 minutes to play in the half. Bemidji 3-0 up. Logan Mitchell in the 6th minute, then Silas Hess with a brace in this first half in the 16th minute, and then in the 32nd minute. Ben Hess has had 2 assists tonight after just 1 all season coming in that deeper lying midfield role, and then 1 assist as well for Mitchell, who has had an outstanding first half both in finishing as well as in setting up for others. Well, the kind of night that has summed up the season he's had in that regard, which has been pretty solid. Johnson's making a good run here. Ben Hess sees him, tries to play him down the middle. Emery able to cut it off and play it away down the far touchline. It skips through and it finds Nick Oberg in a little bit of space on the right. Oberg cuts it back, lofts the ball forward, but not able to find Chupka as he had 3 defenders around him, including Philippi. Near touchline for Silas Bitter. All the way back to Colton Michalczyk. Patient possession from Bemidji as it goes to the right now for Raudio with 70 seconds to go. Raudio will look up as he tiptoes his way forward. Slips for Ben Hess. Gets away from him 1 challenge. And from a second. Down the right he'll go with it. Hellwig making the run outside. Queuing up for a cross. He'll cut it back. We'll look up and we'll switch it back to the top of the 18. Johnson as Chase Mock with him. He finds him. Chase Mock with a curler, but it bounces into the arms of Kallock, who holds it on the 1 hop. Kallock will punt it away. 40 seconds remaining now. 3-0 Lumberjacks in front. Across midfield, Raudio back to goal. Plays back from Michalczyk, who lofts it forward for Kibbe. Nice little flick on by Nick Kibbe. And it's Hellwig now on the right. He'll leave it back for Kibbe once again, and it runs just out of play for a throw. And as Hellwig tried to reward Kibbe for that nice touch, but was unable to play it back in stride before it ran out of play. And that is just about going to take us to halftime. The Green Wave are in no real rush to take this throw in, as Bemidji has been on top from the start, and the first chance of this first half finished off as well by the Lumberjacks.